I thought I could write.
Yeah. Until you met me, Ama.
No, actually until I wrote. The chess tournament.
Yes.
I've gone to one. I've gone to some my own.
Did you lose, Ama? You ulipiga watu huko?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Chess, you either win or learn. You don't lose.
You don't lose.
You learn.
Yes.
I want that future for us to be seen out there. Like we can do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. And you've walked us through a journey which I would say, for me as an individual, it's one of the very first times I've actually had somebody who's teaching kids chess, programming, robotics. And I'm sure not just me, pia the audience is going to really, have fun listening to this, kwa sababu somebody who's working 1 hour per week, 2 hours per week, and they're still making good money, is a goals for most people. So I would really say you're on a very interesting journey.
Thank you.
And keep on it to.
We are not going to bend over. We are just going to squat and watch this class very fast. So by the time, but then God uses people on the journey.
Yes.
And there's little to nothing, actually nothing you can do to make God love you less.
Well,
there's nothing you can do to make God love you less.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. From anywhere you're tuning in the world, we are always thankful to have you. So, this is Talk Active Minds, and I'm your host, ZACHARIAH GITAU. And today, I'm privileged to have Dennis here with me. We are going to walk you through the world of robotics, the world of chess, the world of programming for kids and for himself. Now you're going to have a good time. So welcome, Dennis.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a real honor. So kindly introduce yourself to the world and tell them what you do.
Thank you, Zach. I can't be happier to be here. My name is Dennis Njuguna, and I'm a student of life. So that's the easiest introduction I can give. And then more is coming as we continue with the conversation.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how this is going to work.
I've always told people I'm a student of life, and I have to get an A out of life. So on a daily, my pursuit is for that A in life. I may not have gotten that A in school, but I'll get that A in life.
Yeah.
So karibu sana, and just to we should just kickstart this at the top of the range stuff, and we'd love to hear from you the world of chess, programming, and robotics. Kindly tell us your involvement in that space.
Well, it is always a long journey, and it's always a long story for everyone to give. Like where you are right now, I don't believe like there are so many people who got there because they started there.
Yes.
So I've gone to a point here. Like what do I want to do? I've been in school.
Yeah.
I've been told education is the key.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to find that light. And in the course of the journey, I learned about some programming.
Yes.
That was when I was in campus. I've done that in school. I've done that in class, in my coursework.
Yes.
And then for chess, let me speak about coding, and then I'll come to chess because it's a whole different story.
Then robotics also.
And then robotics and coding, they work together.
Yeah.
So coding and robotics, let me just say robotics is a thing that actually caught me when I was doing my final project.
Yes.
And then I was recruited to a robotics club in campus.
Yeah, I remember.
By some friends of mine. And then I got the interest of like, what if I worked with that to do my final year project?
Yes.
And then out of there, that's where I got to know some bits of robotics, how to go about it, some of the components we
So
use
both
there.
hardware, software.
Yeah, the hardware, the software, the sensors, and all those. And then, I worked on my project using the same knowledge. And of course, in robotics, you cannot work with robotics if you don't know how to code.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
Yeah, so that's why they go like together.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, that's why it's called coding and robotics. So that's my journey with the robotics. I will get to what I'm doing with it
Right now, yeah.
but chess, it have to take me back a little bit to where I come from.
Okay. Home.
Yes, my background per se, because I believe most of the people are like brought up in what they call a box. I don't want to say I'm from a box. I am not by any.
Are you from a box?
No, I'm not. I am not. Maybe I just try to put some people in the box, but anyway, that's on a light note.
And
But
it works every other time.
yeah, but away from the box,
Yeah.
you maybe sometime I joke like I come from a place that is so cold, and with coldness you have some attitude. You know? So my attitude and my coldness actually brought me to a point like there's so many things that I haven't done that I wish to have done,
Okay.
or maybe to learn, and one of them was chess.
Okay.
In my understanding, I thought chess was a game of wits, a game of intelligent people, and then I was like, why wouldn't I be a witty person, an intelligent person, you know? And I never got a chance to learn until I was again in campus.
Campus was the breakthrough for both robotics, chess, and programming. Yes.
And I learned some basic moves. I was taught like this is how you're supposed to move all the pieces. This is the name of all the pieces. And from there, I went a mile. I bought a chessboard.
I remember it actually.
Yeah,
the one we were folding na katikati.
Yeah.
With small pieces.
Yeah, so I bought that one. I trained with my roommate then. Thanks to him. His name is Marvin.
And interestingly, we are going to be working on him on other projects. So you're going to be seeing him soon.
Yeah, sure. And I also had a very good student who is my cousin. That's the first person I taught chess, and they actually beat me along the way. Because I trained him, and then he became so good, and then he beat me at some point, and then I was like, maybe let's now start playing the game. So my story with chess was from point of wanting to learn some things that I never had a chance to learn, that I wanted to learn. With the list is so long that I have learned a lot of things apart from chess.
Yeah.
But because today we are talking about chess, let me just concentrate on that. So that's my story with me getting to chess and coding and robotics.
You've been involved with some chess tournaments as a person. You've also been able to teach chess to kids. Now they have gone to these championship tournaments.
Yeah.
So are you doing this as an individual ila kujifunza ama you've actually done maybe some certifications to give you that expertise to handle kids and to teach chess in a way that is internationally recognized?
Life is interesting.
Yes, very.
And it's an echo because you plan to do something and then you don't do it.
Okay.
And then the same thing come back, bouncing back
To you.
And this is exactly what happened back in 2022. And then I'll fast forward. Back in 2022, after I graduated, I scribbled a note. Like, what did I wanted to do? Like, away from what I've done in class, like, what do I want to do? And the thing was, I want to work with kids to train them chess. And then the issue with me was I didn't have the resources, but then and the space. Actually, the most big thing is where if I get the people, the human resource, the resources I need for that, then where am I going to put them? So my idea was, let me work with maybe a library somewhere. But then I was situated in Nyeri, so I was like, I could go to Nyeri, talk to the people who work in that library, and then let's see whether we can have like an hour on Saturdays.
Yes.
So I wrote that note. And then years later, fast forwarding, I forgot about it. But the thing still came ringing back to me. And now what happened, I actually, before I started doing now chess professionally, or actually to be paid to do it, now I got a job to do coding and robotics. Just before I did that, some months earlier, in my own volition, I was like, maybe I don't have a specific job I'm doing on my course. I get some on and off consultancy work for GIS, and then it's off. And then I'm back again to maybe trying to do some other things. Then I had a lot of time. And then I thought, maybe I could serve that time, teach kids some computer skills. And then from there, we can now start doing some coding with them. The idea was we can do that, and part-time we do chess.
Yes.
And then 2 months later, I get a call, and then someone tells me, you know what, there is a place you can work with kids now with coding and robotics. And then it happened, they were the same people who were offering the service to teach kids chess.
Oh, okay.
And the coach they were working with then, or the trainer, was not available.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a call again within 2 weeks, like there's another job that you need to do it like concurrently with this one.
Yes.
So that's how I came around to like now getting the space, getting the resources, and getting the time, and to top it, like I'm getting paid now to do that. Yes, it's out of my own volition, but now there's a top up on, like, here is some, some cash.
Some cash to actually appreciate the kind of work you're doing.
Yeah.
And you've talked about time and resources, right? How important is it for you as an instructor to have access to resources, and the kids that you're teaching have access to resources and actually have to these resources in teaching them? How does it ease in your work?
Both of the things that I do, they are hands-on kind of skills.
Right.
Like you need to place your hand on something. Away from, starting like you are doing some coding, you have to have a computer or a laptop or any other gadget that is kind of powerful. So that's hands-on. Then you go to robotics, you need to have some kits, of course. And then those kits, maybe you are doing a simple electrical circuit.
Yes.
Of course, you have to do some joining here and there, so that the circuit is complete. And then from there, you do your programming. So knowing that resources is very important.
Very important.
Very important, because if it's something that you really need to touch with your hands, then it means it has to be there.
Yes, that does.
The good thing is with the learning nowadays, you can do a lot of simulations. You can learn chess online. You can do all of this online. But in my case, I don't know whether this has been clear so far, but I work with kids.
Oh, yeah.
And kids like what they see and what they touch.
Something that they can engage with.
Yeah, there's power with what you touch, and you can see it. So resources is very important. And the biggest resources in terms of that work will be time.
Oh, okay.
For coding and robotics, there are things that require time for you to learn, to get a concept, to get that skill that is working.
Yes.
So you need time.
Yes.
It's a very big factor also for chess. And that comes in handy with now me as an instructor. How do I like manage my time and also manage the time for these kids so that we have a skill, at least we have one thing that comes forward at the end of that time.
And how long are you working per week? Because I think traditionally 8 to 5, 9 to 5 has been glorified. But with the way people are working nowadays, like a friend of mine was telling me, he works only about 4 hours a week for a company that is abroad, and he makes good money. So he works for actually more than one company, or he used to work for more than one company. Now, the kind of money he's making for the amount of time he's working is literally mind-blowing. So how long do you work, and how important is it to work for a short time with kids?
Now, away from me, I stated life is interesting, but kids are more interesting. Kids are more interesting
yes.
than actually life. Maybe they make life more interesting.
Yes, they do.
Let me just use that term. Now, this is what happens. For example, I work in one school.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to a point like I'm working with different schools.
Yes.
So the thing is, I have one specific class, for example, and I work with them for one lesson in a week.
Yes.
So that you might find me maybe the most time that I'm engaged in class maybe will be 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours in a span of 12 hours. That is from 8 to 5.
Okay.
So some days maybe 3, then 2. Then there are some days I have 1 hour
1 hour per week.
Wow.
Wow.
Per week with specific class.
Yes.
So that means, and that's now what brings the other aspect of like managing the resources I have,
Yes.
especially the time, because the highest time I've got with kids is 40 minutes.
40 minutes for
So
lesson.
40 minutes with movement, with computers to turn them on. We have chessboards we have to like unfold, and then we have to arrange them, and
Yes.
then we have to learn at least maybe one tactic before we start engaging our hands on.
Yes.
So I work for chess. I have 1 hour, 20 minutes in a week with the kids I work with. Then for the others, I have like 30, 40 minutes
30,
in a
40
week.
minutes.
Yes.
Wow. And what do you enjoy most about teaching, and what do you enjoy most about working with children? The most, it's a joy anytime you experience it. Like you'd love a repeat of that same feeling.
I stated like I've done some different things in
Yes.
in my school. By training, I am not a teacher. But now how I came around to like wanting to work with kids is because kids are honest. Kids are very honest. A kid will just run to you and then he's like, you know what? Yesterday we ate this. And that is exactly what they ate.
Yes.
Then kids, away from being honest, they have a sense of just being who they are. They are
Yes.
authentically themselves.
Yes, 100%.
And they don't have an ulterior motive when they
Yes.
are talking to you. I used to work with people who are not kids.
Yes.
And I have been mistaken to be doing not exactly what I thought I was doing. And that brings a lot of conflicts when you're working with people who does not understand you.
Yes.
Now, me coming back now to the point of now agreeing like I want to work with kids is because at the end of the day, I would ask myself like whatever you did, was it meaningful?
Yes.
So that's one thing. And is it sustainable? And sustainable talks about tomorrow.
Yes.
I might be here today and tomorrow I'm gone. But
Yes.
whatever I know is in a kid, and there's a bigger future in a kid than it is in mine.
That's true.
So that's one thing that makes me so happy to work with kids. The other thing is the aspect of they will understand me. They will
Yes.
see me for being who I am, trying to help them. And if they don't see that at that point,
Yes.
maybe in future they will see that. Now, working with kids is more or less a fun game of life.
Oh, okay.
Because they are mischievous. You learn to be mischievous with them.
You become mischievous as well.
You become mischievous as well. And it's fun because they also, they will see, if they see you as a teacher, they will always see you as a teacher.
Yes.
Now, not like working with a person who really doesn't understand the angle you are coming with. So that's what brings me joy. And then the other aspect of like, if I die today, someone might actually continue with what I was doing.
Yes.
And that kid will have a future. And probably he will use that skill. Yeah.
You've talked in the line of it's like you're being a role model to them. You're more than just a teacher to these kids. And you've also talked about them being honest and you being mischievous because at times kids are mischievous. So we need to understand them from their own point of view and from the way they see life.
Yeah.
So what kind of change have you made in your character to accommodate these kids? And what is your most defining strength of character when you're dealing with these kids? Is it honesty? Is it transparency? Do you want them to be honest with you, so you have to be honest with yourself and with them? So what is the process like, and what is the character that you carry every day when you're dealing with those kids?
It is fun because it has made me to actually understand that I can plan my work. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Because working with kids, you're managing your time, but it's actually not your time, it is theirs.
It's this, yeah.
And managing kids to like have that class order so that you can now start doing what you're supposed to do is very important.
Yes.
The other change that has come out of that is controlling how I act on things.
Yes.
Because kids are trying to be honest and they're actually doing what you don't want them to do. Someone is talking there, someone is asking a question there, someone is crying there, and someone is actually tapping your back. Someone is pulling your shirt, someone is pulling your trousers. So
I can only imagine the experience.
sometimes it's very fun, and sometimes you are like, who is that pulling me?
Yes.
Stop pulling me. But then that thought comes to you like, I would slap you. You know, that would be me when I was starting to do that.
Yes.
But now I've come to realize like, just be gentle, you know.
Yes.
That kid is just being themselves.
Yes, 100%.
They don't know how to get that attention without doing what they are doing to you.
Yes.
If they have to pull your trouser, then so be it. Bora unaniangalia, bora unaniatendia. So it's very fun.
Yeah.
That I've come to realize that I can actually control how I want to do,
Yes.
or what I want to do based on what I feel.
Okay.
So that has been so interesting. Like someone will just talk to me and then I just look at them because I really want to understand, where do you come from?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because I have these kids who are doing this and then I'm looking at them like, where do you come from? You know, and so most of the big change has been around like how I'm reacting to things.
Yes.
Because this is a reaction thing, not like it's more of a reaction than an action.
Yes.
Because you have to cater to their needs. Maybe you have a concept that is so difficult to them and they really need your help.
So you need to break it
Yes,
down and present it to them the way when you wataelewa kabisa.
Yeah. So that has been the change that I've grown now to get, and as a person now working with kids every other day.
What does the future hold for you? And in the line of chess, programming, na robotics.
Now, you stated like I've been involved with the chess tournament.
Yes.
I've gone to one. I've gone to some my own.
Did you lose ama you ulipiga watu huko?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've lost games I'm supposed to win. And it comes with a lot of you trying to think like, I can do this.
Yes.
Well, it's good to think that, but everybody is a worthy opponent, even
Yes.
in real life. And the same way, what I get from that is if everybody is a worthy opponent, it means everybody can also help you.
So are there people who have helped you win tournaments? Or?
People have helped me win tournaments, and I have one specific person in mind.
You want to thank them?
Yeah, I want to thank Bill. Bill, wherever you are, man.
Asante Bill. Kwanza mse amekuwa akiniita Bill kutoka afike jana. Tana adabu.
Yeah, maze, Bill, you are such a you know what you do. Thank you. So Bill has he has ruthlessly beaten me in the game.
Yes.
And that has helped me to actually win games.
Interesting.
So because you only learn when you have someone who knows better than you.
Yes.
So I've lost games myself.
Yes.
I've taken kids to the tournaments, and what happens is like, that's when I realized I had a very small bandwidth of emotions, emotional bandwidth.
Yes.
Because you have a kid who lost a game which he or she thought she's supposed not to lose.
Yes.
And then he starts to cry. I've seen kids cry like out loud.
So you have to console them.
So sometimes you run away. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not doing this.
Yes.
So I've taken kids to the tournament, they lose, they start crying. But what we've come around to learn is that chess, you either win or learn. You don't lose.
You don't lose.
You learn because the mistake you made is supposed to make you better.
For
Yes.
upcoming games.
Because the mistake you made is actually about the move that you made.
Yes.
You cannot recorrect that at that very moment. But because there's if it's a tournament, it means you have maybe 3 or 6 or 9 rounds.
Yes.
So within 6 or 9 rounds, and this is the first game of the second one, then the rest, you're not going to do the same mistake.
Yes.
So I've lost a lot of games. Thank God I haven't lost anyone to you.
No, we're yet to play. Toka uko instructor tujacheza hata moja.
Yeah,
Sasa mimi ni
but,
mnati, mimi ni international Zach.
but when we played, I already beat you. I want that to be known.
When? Oh, when we play.
Yeah, when we
will see.
played, that
We'll
was
see. We'll see.
about 3 years ago.
When we play, see, we're talking about the future.
When we play, you will still
Yeah,
learn.
be ready to learn.
You'll be still so yeah, I've learned now how to have a bigger emotional bandwidth when I'm working with kids, because especially when it's chess or they don't get what they thought they will get. Yes, and myself too, because as a player, the emotions are very high when you're losing a game.
Yes.
It's a game of tactics. You have to think maybe 12 moves ahead. Maybe your opponent can see 24. He can see the end game before the start of the game.
Yes.
And you are here, you can only see at most 3. So when you lose that, your emotions are spiked, and how to control that, I've learned through the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
sorry, but I was trying to build now. What is the future for me?
yes, what's the future?
What the future holds for me? Now, I was trying to build that, like, myself, I want to play.
Yes.
I also want to play the game, because me coming to the point of now starting to teach kids was from the point of me wanting to know how to play.
Yes, yes.
And I am looking forward to, like, introducing myself to more, like, big tournaments, maybe more like regionals and the nationals. And if I get from the point of getting to the point of international, then
Yes.
so be it. Also for the kids, we are working on, like, most of these tournaments are paid for.
Yes.
So what happens, you get money is another resource that I really never talked about.
Yeah, earlier on.
Yeah, because you get some kids who have actually proceeded to go to the next stage of the competition, but then you cannot be able to take them because you don't have money.
Yes.
So in the future, I'm looking forward to, like, how do I mitigate now that kind of a hole that we are having, because kids are ready to go for the competition. Myself, I'm ready to go for the competition, but
Yes.
to what level, you see? Because I want us to go international.
Yes.
I want that future for us to be seen out there. Like, we can do this.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. And you've walked us through a journey which I would say, for me as an individual, it's one of the very first times I've actually had somebody who's teaching kids chess, programming, robotics. And I'm sure not just me, pia the audience is going to really, have fun listening to this, kwa sababu somebody who's working 1 hour per week, 2 hours per week, and they're still making good money, is a goals for most people.
Yeah.
So I would really say you're on a very interesting journey.
Thank you.
And keep on it too. And may everything you touch, wacha ibarikiwe. And when you're going international, it's a bridge that you're going to cross with you.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu myself, even with the way I'm structuring my business ventures and the things that I'm interested in, I'm a person who's going international.
Yeah.
So we are definitely going to be doing international things in no time.
Yeah.
So Thank you for that part. That part was really amazing.
Yeah.
And I'd love us to maybe take a detour kidogo too and ask you to walk us through your writing, your writing prowess or skills. You write poems, you write creatively. So tell us about your writing and your creative process.
Yeah, thank God you said it's a detour, because this is going to be one of those detours. So
Yeah.
I thought I could write.
Yeah. Until you met me, I'm
No, actually until I wrote.
oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
actually when I thought like, I can write. So me being brought up in a code place,
Back to the box.
I had an issue with the language.
Yes.
I know my mother tongue so fluently, like I could be speaking that here, like
Okay.
so good. But then in my schooling life, I had the issue of like now articulating what I want to say to the
Yes.
teacher now, or to any other person who want to get that information, without actually using the language I'm not supposed to use. And I'm quoting that because language is very powerful.
Yeah, very true.
And from the love of like wanting to know how to talk, to speak and communicate, I found myself now like trying to read. That was when I was in primary school. When I was in class 7,
Yes.
now going to class 8, I really need to like know how to write a very good composition with a good
Yes.
story, flowing and showing the creativity and using all those figures of speech, like what we were taught in school. And I started from reading a friend of mine who was very good in writing, composition. That's where I started. And then I started borrowing some storybooks.
Yes.
Then fast forward, when I was in my form 4, I actually took a book. And then in high school, we learn poetry.
Yes.
So all those things. And then I thought like, would I be one of the people who can be able to write such a piece, whether it's 2 lines, 3, 4. So I took a book and then I started writing.
Yes.
I lost the book, which pains me, because I would really want to know like how did I used to think then?
Yeah. How are you expressing
Yes,
yourself?
how was it? Yes. But then fast forward again in campus, that's when now I actually actively started writing and actually saving my pieces. All the pieces that I've written along the way, more than 40 maybe.
Yes.
I have a collection of them. I have shared some with people. Some I have kept to myself.
Yes.
Or maybe I'll share when the time is right.
Yes.
But it all came from the point of wanting to express myself in writing. And that actually made me a very good writer in composition when I was doing my high school exams.
Yes.
And also a very good public speaker in a way, like I can do that without actually having a lot of fumbles. And that's where now my creativity would come. Most of the pieces I have written, they revolve around just the normal life of a human being.
Yes.
The hard things we go through, the hardship that we go through maybe at some moment, and the feeling, a lot of those things that makes human. So that has been my story with writing. I still write, and maybe in one of this minute I'll still share a thing I've written about, which really like still talks to me today.
All right. I'll be able to put it as just something we can share with the audience. Waone what you actually write. And the question in ilikuwa inalinga in mind ni, are you still keeping it between the navigation beacons?
Oh yeah, because when the thing is, we always have to like keep that pack on the track. And now that's where the navigation beacons comes. Because life is a path that everybody has to follow.
Yes.
And given that, if you lose your path,
Yes.
then sometimes we think we have. There was a time I was actually thinking out loud, and then I wrote like, you have every hope, you have every plan, you have every step to follow, you have everything, and then the second thing, everything comes in shambles.
Yes.
It started, and then you lost everything. But then at the end of that piece, I was like, the thing is, how do you try to keep your path
Yes.
on that track? How do you keep yourself between the navigation beacons?
Yes.
And that's one piece that actually, thank God I said that line to you, because now look at me now trying to say like what was I thinking?
Yes. Yes. And
Because
that was
yeah.
long ago. That was back when you were in campus.
Yeah, back I think that was in 2019.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, so I try to strike that balance of like writing a piece that is going to remind me when I get off the track.
Yes.
Because sometimes you are pedaling so fast, you're on that track, but then you lose it.
Yes.
It is most of the time not our mistake, but the life happens, and then you are just off.
Yes.
Now, how do you get back to that? So most of the writings, my writings are like based on like trying to actually advise myself.
Yes.
Trying to advise myself to get like moving. Yeah, so yes, I still try to keep my everything between the navigation beacons. Yeah.
Really happy you've shared, and once you give me one piece, I'll be able to give it to the world.
Yeah.
Let them read and enjoy like I do.
Yeah.
The pieces that you actually do.
Yeah.
And still in that line, you've mentioned about you. The interest of writing came from an interest of reading.
Yeah.
So reading brought you writing.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
So now, what kind of books do you read?
I like to. I really always want to see like what do other people think.
Yes.
So right now I've been reading 2 books actively. One is called Welcome Home by Najo
Okay, welcome
Zabian.
home.
Yes, welcome
Anyway.
home. Yeah. And the book just now it tries to like tell you the home is inside of you.
Yeah.
Stop trying to build the homes inside of that people that you really believe. It's so fun to talk to you every other day, because when they move with your house. So welcome home, it's within you. And the other one is called The Way Home.
The Way Home.
The Way Home, done by Mark Boyres. Mark is an interesting guy because he has tried to like leave some. He had a plan of doing 1 year without using the money.
Yes.
He's a financial expert. He's done finances in his life, yes, professionally. But then he's like, can I try to do life without money?
For 1 year.
For 1 year. And then he ended up doing it for 3 years.
Wow.
Then after that, he actually thought like, can I do this life without internet? And then he scrapped off everything. So The Way Home is actually a book that is trying to like tell the tales of him on the journey of him having the life without the internet.
Yes.
That caught me because it is so interesting. Immediately after I was done with Welcome Home, I was like, what is the way home? What is the way home? And that brought me to a point before I got the book, which I started reading actively last year. Last year, but one, actually I wrote a piece. Like I was sitting at the middle of the night, and then I thought like, why am I feeling so heavy in my head?
Yes.
A lot of noise. I cannot sit alone, concentrate or focus. And that's when I realized like solitude is a freedom that we never savor like in our life. And I wrote a piece about that named Be Mindful. And being mindful is actually now you trying to like settle down within yourself.
Yes.
Take you back to your home because the world outside is vicious. So the title of the piece is Be Mindful because the world is vicious. And then at the end of that, I was like, savor your solitude as your freedom.
Yes.
Because that's the most freedom that you can ever have. When you are alone and you can be able to silence the noise, because the world has been made to make you feel the noise in your head,
Yes.
to actually steal your concentration and your focus, and now that kills the creativity that we have.
Powerful. Powerful.
Because you cannot concentrate
Yeah.
to make or to create if you cannot make through one thought, because we are just creating a hoop of thoughts. Before you finish this one, your mind takes you to another one. Before you finish this one, you are in another one. That means you cannot create. So that piece actually came from me reading the book, The Way Welcome Home, and then through that piece, I actually got the book, which is The Way Home.
Yes.
And that's when I realized you really need to be mindful. And to be mindful, you really have to close all the noises that are coming outside of you,
Yeah.
so that you can concentrate to create.
Well, you put it in a very interesting way, and I can tell you're creating right now as we're speaking, because most of these words are just words that you've actually selected right now tukiongea. Now you've put them together in a way and somebody at home is going to really enjoy. Even me myself nikiwa hapo on set, I'm enjoying kwa sababu niko zile za wa really interesting. And that the same analogy I would say ni kama maji kuingia kwa a boat. If enough water gets into a boat, the boat will eventually sink. So if we allow enough of external pressure to actually come in and wreck us or cause a havoc or floods inside us, we are the ones who are going to sink. And once you sink, you're going to be forgotten. Now that's the other thing. You're going to be forgotten, because the people that we remember in history are people who were able to choose one path and do it for a long time to a point that they attained mastery. And that's why books have been written, tales have been told about people who set themselves apart. If it's creatively, if it's leading men to war, if it's in the line of religion, people who are trailblazers, pioneers, people who are thinking about a future that will not have them but will have their stories. The kind of people that we read in books are people who sat down and said 100 years from now naweza taka kusoma kwa kitabu. And I want you to be read in books. You being a big deal Africa, being a person who is doing something that is you're setting yourselves apart kabisa from the public, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you. And to add on that, is I actually thought, like, if I really want to give you something out of me, I really have to give it from inside of me without having something else coming from outside.
That's true.
So listening to all these noises coming to our mind and trying not to be vicious, because the world is kind of designed to make us feel those noises. So that all the creativity you have, whatever you have inside of you, is actually suppressed to a point now it cannot ooze out by any chance. So if you really have to give something, you have to give it first before you let something else in.
Well, you've heard it for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and I honestly don't have anything to add. You articulate yourself so well, and this is not the first project that we've worked on that requires you to articulate yourself well. So we've walked through different journeys in campus, even post-campus, and you're doing well for yourself. So I'm really happy.
Thank you.
So still in the line of what we've been talking about, leadership and your trail of leadership as an individual. Have you experienced it? Do you get it maybe when you go to institutions like the church, the school that you're into, campus, primary school? What is your trail of leadership?
I've had a taste of it, and it plays a very different story in my head when it comes to leadership. I've been a leader. But my leadership trait is by serving. And the most good example that my friends who we have worked together when I was in that position would attest is when I was in high school, I was part of the student leadership. The thing is, it is easier to show people how to do something than to actually tell them how to do it.
Okay.
So my trait was be among. I don't really have to be in front because I don't know how to do everything. So I'm just here to direct you to get to a goal.
Yes.
What is the goal? We need to watch this class. So the thing is, we have a crew of like everybody in that class. But I had everybody has a small people that you work with so efficiently.
So efficiently.
So we'll just take ourselves to go like, you know what? Mimi, where, we are going to find some ufagios. Hawa na watatu, they will just be picking the desk, putting them back, and then very fast. We are not going to bend over. We are just going to squat and watch this class very fast. So by the time everybody is coming back, they're like, the class is clean.
Yes.
So they just take the litter and then they move. Yes. Why? Because me being in the leadership is not about me telling you what you need to do.
Yes.
It's actually me being there doing that with you.
Because
the leadership does not mean I actually know what we are supposed to do. But all of us, we have a goal. The means here is what we are trying to figure out. So let's figure it out, all of
together.
us. I'll be part of that. So that is one of the traits that I have learned in the leadership that I've used, whether it's in church, whether it's in school, whether it's in another place that I'm doing my own personal things, in any space. And being a leader also means you need to make sure that everybody got what they are supposed to get.
Yes.
So you are not supposed to go in front of them. Maybe it's if a line of food, maybe I might go in front of you to test, to test whether they really did it well. And then from there,
let them have a taste also.
Let them also have a taste. Yeah, so that has been my leadership trail. Yeah.
And now that you've spoken about food, you actually produce food yourself. in one way or another, you've been involved in farming, and you've also taught about farming, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about the line of farming?
You are what you take, So, and most of the things that we take, we overlook what we eat. And what probably most of us thought is the best thing to eat when we were kids, it's actually, for lack of a better word, trash.
Yes.
Because the thing is, I said you are what
you consume.
You consume.
Yes.
And our body reacts so differently. I mean, based on what you eat.
Yes.
I remember I was telling you yesterday, like when you eat some cereals, some heavy cereals,
some minji,
some beans, people wonder, why do I have a lot of gas in my,
Yes.
That adjustment is because you're taking a lot of complex sugars.
Yes.
And the fact that you know that this thing has a complex sugar, it takes a lot of time to be digested
by the body.
Yeah, so if you take a lot of sugars, it means you are giving your digestive system a lot of work.
Yes.
It's like a machine. Like, when you want to, like, you're from where people siaga mahindi.
Oh, yeah.
Kisiagi nimeenda. Yeah, and then just put a coin inside those mahindi.
Yes.
That grinding of that coin is going to stop the whole machine.
True.
That happens with the body also, because you give it like a coin, which is the complex sugar. So how do you regulate that? Eat well.
Yes.
Because people, if you would ask me in the most open space, like, then what do you really enjoy to do? Like, I will tell you, like, when you go to that room, that restroom that you want in the washroom, and you have a very good time there.
Yes.
People don't appreciate how important that is.
Yes.
But just go there and you have a very hard time. You'll come to realize, like, man, I don't have a good day because my stomach is aching. And that is brought by
you consume.
Yes, if you eat trash, you're going to you output what you input.
Yes.
So if you input trash, then you're going to output trash.
Yes.
And that brought me to the point of, like, now I want to learn about how to produce some food
Yes.
for
Produce
myself.
your own food. Yeah.
Yes, and I went to a class for organic farming. I did organic farming for some months. I've practiced the farming, and I still do, and I still consume what I produce, which is very important.
Amazing, brother. And apart from what you consume in any food, you're also somebody who prays.
Yeah.
You're also somebody who has a very strong belief system in the person that they're becoming, in the impact that they're creating in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you sustain this faith? Because at times things are hard.
Very.
At times trials and tribulations actually visit us and try to weigh us down. Yeah. So how do you sustain this faith?
I have listened to a song that actually has the answer to that.
Yes.
The song says, everybody would think like you have to be super extraordinary
Yes.
for God to use you. But then God uses people on the journey.
Yes.
And there's little to nothing, actually nothing you can do to make God love you less.
Well,
There's nothing you can do to make God love you less.
Okay.
And the fact that you know that, and you know that God uses people on the journey, I'm trying to get there. It does not mean I'm doing it right. But that thought of like, God will still use me to get there. In this process, God is going to still use me.
Yes.
Whether I fall short, because we always do that, God still loves me. And the fact that, he doesn't need me, but he still wants me. The fact that he doesn't need you, but he still wants you. That has sustained my faith in God.
Yes.
So much. And I believe I'm just like a seed buried in the snow.
Yes.
And then I'll grow into a sequoia tree.
Yes.
From a very small seed to a very huge tree.
Yes.
So that's how I sustain my life. My faith in God, because I know he still uses people on the journey. I don't have to be perfect to get used by God. But being on the journey, me falling short because I'm human.
Yes.
I don't have to be so much godly for God to use me. He will still love me regardless. So that's how I maintains my faith in God.
You can't do anything to kufanya God akupende less.
You can do nothing to, whether you believe it or not. Like, just say it. There's nothing you can do to make God love you less.
Wow. Okay. That's really, really, really powerful. And if you're sitting at home, this is your sign to pray. Pray for whatever you're doing. Pray for your friends. Pray for safety. Pray for abundance. Pray for God to keep you from the evils of this world, because the devil is always lacking. He's always looking for an opportunity to explore God's unique creation, and God will use you on your journey. So trust in God, believe in his ability to use you and to take you from one space to another. And if nobody has told you, you're winning it. So keep winning, keep rising, keep doing it until it works out. Asante sana, Dennis, for being on set with us today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time and your availability all the way from Nakuru to Nairobi.
Yeah.
And we wish you nothing but the best from Talk Active Minds, from Zach as a person. We wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors, both the ones you're doing right now and what you intend to do in the future. Yeah. It's already blessed. God has already set you apart. Yeah. He's going to use you on your journey. When you get to your mini destinations, he's still going to use you. So you're blessed, and everything of yours is going to actually flourish.
Thank you. And I appreciate everything. And I'll be back here to follow up.
So I was thinking we do 5 years, but if we do anything before that, to just follow up with your life and see if you've gone international with chess, you're going to do that. But for now, asante sana, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you.
Asanteni. So stay tuned. Talk Active Minds on all platforms. We are going to be doing this forever, ever. So stay tuned and stay blessed. Asanteni. Round of applause. Oh, happy bana. Uko wapi huyu? Hey, that
my
was good,
God,
man. That was good. That was good. That was good, man.